All right. All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to my live stream of Let's Talk About the GOAT, Kenny Stills, and anything else. Right now, there's nobody in here, so I think I'll just play some music to start things off until somebody shows up. So here we go with some awesome music by a local artist by the name of Shannon Fout. This is a pretty good song. It's just mostly an instrumental, but here we go. All right, I would like to pause it here and like to welcome the two people that are in right now. Identify yourselves, please, and go Pack, go. If not, I will just play some more music and wait for somebody to show up and say who they are in the chat. You guys are welcome to type in anything at any time. All right, Saul and King Howie, welcome aboard. I knew that King Howie was going to show up today, so at least I know that I was going to have somebody to had to chat a little bit about the Packers. So, all right, let's get this thing going then. First things first, I would like to get one thing off my chest, and that is the whole talk about Kenny Stills coming to the Green Bay Packers. Now, I know he's been a very popular name, especially here amongst Green Bay Packer fans, because he happens to be the son of former Packers cornerback Ken Stills Sr. Honestly, you guys, Kenny to me was just not doing very well in Houston, and he spent a whole lot of time kind of playing a second fiddle to guys like Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, and Randall Cobb. Another familiar face to the Green Bay Packers. Kenny just was not really doing very much. He was really the number 4 receiver, and then he was really kind of put in the doghouse. And then he was finally released by the Texans not too long ago to free up some of the cap room that they had. It was a pretty big contract for Kenny, and I think that's the big reason why they released him. Now they're going to have to eat up some dead money. I don't really remember what the numbers were offhand, but it was just not a very good deal for the Texans, and they do have other receivers that are doing a pretty good job for them. Chad Hansen is one of them that is doing a pretty good job for them right now, and then Kiki Kuti, who is also the number 5 receiver. They drafted him recently, so the Texans just didn't really have any need for Kenny. And that is why he was released for absolutely nothing. A lot of us thought that we could have maybe traded a pick for him, but instead the value just went down, and nobody even attempted to trade for Kenny Stills, as far as I'm concerned. No team at all has even tried to go for Kenny, and that's why he was cut for absolutely nothing. Now, on to why Kenny. For us, I don't know. I wouldn't be against it at all, especially if we bring him to the practice squad. But I think it's kind of alarming that no team has even attempted to claim him off of waivers when he was cut. And he still is a free agent as of now. And the fact that there is not even any reports of teams even looking to bring him in for a workout says something that probably why Kenny may not be even really be much of an option for us. But I would like Kenny to come over to practice squad to give him a chance. I mean, why not, right? there's a few receivers that are probably not as good as Kenny that are on the practice squad right now. So I'm not against it at all, but I just want to be able to clear that up, especially since a couple of my subscribers have asked about Kenny, and I just want to be able to clear that up because I have not really been able to speak up much on that with some projects that I've been working on, and I haven't had a whole bunch of time to put that into a video. So I want to be able to put that out now here and explain things more of what's going on with Kenny, as far as what is going on with him, why is nobody signing him, and why haven't the Packers made an attempt to go and sign him to the 53-man roster or the practice squad. It's because I think that teams just know that Kenny is just not doing very well. He was, like I said, he was very much in the doghouse with the Texans, even though they could have used him, and he was very productive before this season. And that is kind of the bummer part about it, is that why did Kenny, what is wrong with Kenny? Why is he not being able to, why is he not playing that much? And why is he not separating like he used to? And he was very much a Pro Bowler, a Pro Bowl talent a few years ago. And he was very good with the Miami Dolphins before getting traded to the Texans. And that was a really big mistake in of itself by Bill O'Brien, the Texans, to fork over that money for a player that, I don't know, it was just a very strange deal. One of the many deals that were done by Bill O'Brien, and that was just a big mistake by the Texans, and I know that they wish they had that back. So I'd like to welcome the 3 people that are in. If you haven't given this video a thumbs up, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It would mean a lot. And I like to be able to look right here at King Howie's comment here. It goes to the same for Earl Thomas. Yeah, the thing with Earl is that I think the situation is different. Earl is a very, very good, talented player, but he has had some attitude problems, and I think that is what prompted the Ravens to cut him, because he wasn't really wasn't really doing a very good job with the Ravens. His teammates were calling him out, and then I don't know what it is. Injuries also has played its part with Earl. So I think the situation is very different, and Earl is a better player than Kenny Stills, even though that Earl probably isn't the same player he was a few years ago. And I think that Earl does belong on a 53-man roster. It just kind of depends on whatever team they want, whatever team will be willing to take a chance on him. But he's hasn't been quite the same in a few years, probably due to age and due to injuries. And that's probably why Earl just is not signed to a team right now. And I don't even get why even the Dallas Cowboys didn't even attempt to sign him. I don't know what is the deal with Earl and why he's not signed. So now that I got the Kenny Stills thing out of the way, I like I said, I would really love to have Kenny come over to the Packers because he can provide some depth in the event if there was some kind of an injury to happen to a receiver. I think he can probably, with some time, get some good reps in there, and then eventually come over to 53 if we need him, if he shows any promise at all on the practice squad. And that's how things could go for the Packers. And the next thing I'd like to touch up on is the Packers-Panthers game, which is set to hit for 7:15 Central Time in Green Bay. Go Pack Go. And this should be a very good game, you guys. I think that this should be a pretty big win for us. I am not going to guarantee anything, but I think that the Packers will win this game. Probably a final score prediction if I had to say anything. I don't want to jinx anything, but I guess if I had to go with a final score prediction, I would like to go 34-20. 34-20, I think, will be the final score. I know that the Panthers can score some points because they do have a pretty good quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. They have a pretty good backup running back in Mike Davis filling in for the injured Christian McCaffrey. He is probably likely out for this game with a thigh injury. He has been battling a whole bunch of injuries this season, and he has been on my fantasy team. So things have not boded very well for my fantasy team with McCaffrey being injured for most of the season. But when he has played, he has been very, very good. And I know the Panthers are going to miss McCaffrey, and that is the bummer part about the Carolina Panthers season. Things just have not been very good for them. Teddy Bridgewater has also had a rash of injuries going to him as well. But yeah, the Carolina Panthers right now, I would say, will give us a fight tonight, I think. And I know that Mike Davis, he's not McCaffrey, but he's a very good back, and he has been able to put some solid games for the Panthers in McCaffrey's absence. And then you add to it the plethora of receivers that the Panthers have. They have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and the dynamic weapon in Curtis Samuel. He's someone to look out for tonight. And then as far as tight ends go, I'm not sure what they have there. I would have to get a reminder of who they have at tight end. Their offensive line is okay, but they're dealing with some injuries. So I hope that the pass rush will come tonight and be able to get some pressure on Bridgewater and maybe get a couple of sacks. I think their right tackle is injured. I know that their left tackle is Greg Little. I think he's going to be pretty good for them. And then as far as the defensive side the defensive side goes for the Panthers is that they have a pretty decent defense. They have some pretty good pass rushers, and they have a good interior presence with Kaiwan Short. I don't know if he's injured or not. I think that he has been dealing with some injuries and has been out of the lineup. But the big name to look out for is Brian Burns, and he is a pretty good edge rusher for the most part. He was a first-round pick back in 2019. He is probably going to be a Pro Bowler, given that the amount of sacks that he has today. That he has so far, I think 13 and a half on the season. And then the back secondary is probably a little bit weak. I'm pretty positive that Devontae and the guys can do a very good job being able to get some yards. Aaron and the guys are going to feast on a secondary that is to be desired, and I certainly would really, really like to see this offense click on all cylinders. I'm not sure how they are in the run game, but I'm hoping a pretty good running duo from Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. So on paper, this looks like a very beatable team, but I think the Panthers will definitely give us a fight. And also, given how the fourth quarter defense is, I think they might score some garbage time might score some garbage time points. I mean, that's just what I expect. But we could see some things that we haven't seen so far in this season. So anyway, with only just two people in here, there's really not much to really have any conversation going on in the comments. So anybody can just come in and just say anything at any point, ask some questions, and I can answer to the best of my ability. Anyway, more about the game is that if you don't have NFL Network, I know a lot of people are complaining about not having NFL Network, so they can't watch the game. I don't think it's going to be televised on Fox. I'm not sure. Where I have it is that I can see on NFL Network and Fox. I usually get the two options on my channel. So. Or on my package, I use YouTube TV, so I usually have two options, either Fox or NFL Network. It doesn't look like it's going to be on Fox, and that is how it's going to go down. And I just want to look at something really quick here. All right, King Howie with a question. Who do you see us playing if we get the first round bye? That's a pretty good question. I think it'll be the lowest seed that remains from the wild card or from the wild card round. Um, I can see Tampa Bay being one of them because I think if they don't win the division, they will probably most likely beat the team that they're going to face, whoever they're going to be playing as a road team. I see Tampa Bay, and that'll be kind of a nice little rematch to be able to see what they can do coming up to the cold after getting beaten down in Tampa Bay in the warm weather. I mean, that was just a really, really horrible game in of itself. But I think the second time around, the Panther or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will not shellac us like they did. I know that things will be different I know that the outcome will be different. That is for sure. I definitely believe that the Packers don't really match up very well speed wise and physically wise like the Tampa Bay Bucs do. But when they come up to the cold, that speed is going to be slowed down a little bit, and I think the physicality may slow down a little bit too. So I think the matchup this time around, if they have to come up to the cold, it will be more even out for the Packers, and I like the opportunity for the Packers to be able to beat them better than they did at the warmth of Tampa. Some other teams that I think the Packers could face: the Arizona Cardinals if they make the playoffs. Seattle may also be there if they don't win the division. The LA Rams is another team to look out for. They are a very, very good football team. They are very well rounded. They have a very nice offense with Jared Goff and Sean McVay as a play caller. Very, very, very outstanding offense, and their defense is even better. They are very, very well rounded in the pass game and the run game. Because you've got guys like Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers. They are loaded. They are loaded. And I think the Los Angeles Rams are also another team to look out for as potential Super Bowl contenders. I don't think that they're being talked about seriously as Super Bowl contenders because you got other teams that are just doing better, like the New Orleans Saints, the Packers. We're being talked about as Super Bowl contenders probably because we have the better record, but the Los Angeles Rams are a very, very, very good football team. So that's who I think that we would probably most likely face. Don't be surprised if we get the Minnesota Vikings, but I really kind of tend to doubt that they will even make the playoffs right now at this juncture. I think there are some better teams that will make the playoffs over the Vikings, but anything can happen in these next couple of weeks. Minnesota might be able to squeak into the playoffs somehow, some way, if teams like the Cardinals just go on a losing streak and they just don't do it. Like they get a 9-7 record or something like that, and Minnesota gets a 10-6. Who knows? How do you think the run defense will do? Next week or tonight. I think tonight will be a very interesting test for the run defense. I get the sense that Mike Davis will probably be able to get some yards. But I think it's a matter of being able to figure out how to limit them yardage wise. I know that last week the run defense did a very good job containing Adrian Peterson, DeAndre Swift, and Kerryon Johnson, and I'm proud of the run defense for being able to do that. But what the Lions were able to accomplish last week was through primarily with short passes to running backs, and I know that this is something that the Panthers can implement in tonight's game, is getting the running backs active in the pass game. I know that we as a team kind of struggle with the short yardage at times. Sometimes when you have guys playing out on the zone coverage, sometimes we just don't really have the guys that match up really well with the speedy running backs, and sometimes offensive coordinators can pick apart us in the middle from time to time. I don't know. It was I thought that Daryl Bevell of the Lions did a very good job game planning against this defense, and Matthew Stafford was able to do a pretty good job picking apart this defense from time to time. As far as next week goes for the run defense, going up against Derrick Henry, oh my gosh, that is going to be such a hard test. That is a lot to ask for this run defense against probably the best running back in the league right now. I think it's almost kind of like a matter of being able to limit Henry as opposed to just stopping him. I don't know if anybody can stop Henry. I know that there's some defenses that are very capable of stopping them, like Tampa Bay. They have the best run defense of the league, but I think Derrick Henry would give them problems. And then you have another good, very good team with a run defense. The New Orleans Saints have a pretty good run defense as well, but I don't know. If you have such a dominant back like Derrick Henry, the Tennessee Titans can go very far into the playoffs, especially they did last year, and they did it with running the football, pounding it down teams' throats. And when you have a running back like that, you can go far. You can win a championship running game and with a dominant running game and a dominant defense. Not that I'm saying that Tennessee has that dominant defense, but they do have a very, very capable defense, and they did a very good job defending Tom Brady and the Patriots last year, as well as they did a very good job with clamping down on Lamar Jackson and his dynamic ability. Last year's high-scoring offense in the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson. So as far as being able to do well against Derrick Henry, I think it's going to be a very, 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 very tough test. But yeah, it'll be very hard for us to win that game, even though the Titans are coming up to the cold and playing us. But they will play us hard because they did a very good job against New England last year, going up to the cold and being able to take it to them, running it down their throats. The same thing against the Baltimore Ravens. The Tennessee. Okay, I'm back. I have no idea what happened there. I guess my Wi-Fi crashed, so that's what happened there. Okay, so I'm back now back to Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, they present a really, really big problem for us the next couple of weeks when we face them at Lambeau. But I think we match up pretty well with the Titans, and I think we can beat them. But it's just a matter of being able to limit Henry for as much as we possibly can. We can't duplicate what happened with the Minnesota Vikings going up against Dalvin Cook and how he was able to just completely slice and dice our defense apart like that, and Minnesota completely just out-physicaled us in the cold that game. We did not really bring our A game, I don't think, that week. And, the energy was low. But I think come playoff time, come crunch time, we cannot really lay an egg like that against the Tennessee Titans. Otherwise, we're going to get smacked around like we did against the Minnesota Vikings. And I think we underestimated Minnesota a little bit, to be honest, in that game. I can't really say what went wrong in that game, aside from our run defense just stinking it up and getting pushed around. I think maybe it's possible the team could have been looking forward to the next game. I don't know. I think I touched up on that in the post-game video against Minnesota. I don't know, but I think the Packers may have been looking a little bit forward to the 49er game to get a little bit of revenge on the 2019 NFC Championship game, but that's just my thoughts. But I don't know. The team came out kind of flat in that game, and I have no clue why things went the way they did, but it was kind of good that we were able to rebound after that game and then put a shellacking on the 49ers. All right, so we got about 3 of us in here. Reminder to hit that thumbs up. And if you are very, very much brand new to the channel, and if you want to see more Packer content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more Packer content and even some NFL content. I have a whole bunch of other plans and videos to come out. So even if you're a Packer fan, and if you are even interested in some more NFL content, in knowing a little bit more, stick around and maybe check out some of those videos. And now on to the final topic, and that is to talk about the greatest quarterback of all time, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron, man, you guys, I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of my quarterback. I can't believe how well he's doing this season. I certainly expected him to play a whole lot better this season than last, because this was Aaron's first year in Matt LaFleur's system, and I know that there's always a learning curve, even though if you're a veteran such as Aaron, such as David Bakhtiari, Devontae Adams, and guys like that. But then you have to take account for the younger players like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Equanimeous St. Brown, some of the rookies, and all that, and all those guys. It's a learning curve for everyone, and I know that the Matt LaFleur offense is probably not that much different than the Mike McCarthy offense scheme-wise, because it's kind of really similar to they are very similar in that they use a whole lot of West Coast concepts with a whole bunch of other things that are twisted around to make it more modern, much so less from McCarthy. Let's just say that. I know that what I've seen from Matt's offense is clearly different. I see a lot of misdirection and a whole bunch of different kinds of shifts. The misdirection and the play action fakes are very noticeable in Matt's offense, and that is what I'm very, very glad that this offense incorporates. We can really, really use a lot of other guys for jet sweeps, Tyler Ervin now Tavon Austin taking over that role because Swerve, unfortunately, is injured and probably may not be back again for the rest of the season. I'll have to go and see how things are going with Tyler. I know he's on IR. He could be designated to return. We'll have to keep an eye on to see if Swerve can return. I certainly hope so, but it doesn't really look so promising for him to return for the rest of the regular season. Maybe we can get back to the playoffs, but right now it's Tavon time, and I really, really think that Tavon can do some things as that gadget guy that he can do. So he can do some things. He can catch some passes out of the backfield. He can return some punts and whatnot. I know a lot of people are excited to see Tavon. I'm cautiously optimistic about Tavon. I am not really really huge on Tavon. I'm not expecting him to go run a post route and just take off. I'm not expecting him to be really quite all that well incorporated into the offense quite yet. It'll probably take maybe another week or two for him to contribute more as a receiver, as opposed to a gadget guy. I don't know, but the potential for Tavon catching passes from Aaron certainly is it's very encouraging. I mean, Tavon has not really had the quarterback of nearly of the caliber of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just having Tavon catch some passes from a future Hall of Famer is really encouraging, and I think that just about anybody as a receiver can do a lot of things very well for this offense. And I like to go to this comment right here. IRC bully. Yeah, no one has signed Kenny Stills. Yeah, I touched up on this earlier, and I know that you missed this stream from the beginning, and that's okay. I'm actually going to take this stream. I'm going to chop it up, and I'm going to take what I said about Kenny Stills earlier and make it into a separate video in of its own, so that way you can go and see that, or you can just go back and watch this live stream from the beginning, so you can see what I had to say about Kenny. Just to summarize what I said about Kenny is that he was cut from the Houston Texans, and nobody has even claimed him on waivers, and nobody signed him. But as far as the Packers go, I would not be against him coming to Green Bay, possibly as a practice squad member, but I don't know. I don't think that's where the Packers are going to go as far as receiver-wise after signing Tavon, and I think the Packers are set on what they want to do at receiver for now. But who knows, if the Packers want to go and sign Kenny to take a chance on him, sign him to the practice squad, great. I would like it. Yes, I would actually like to see Anthony play a little bit. I think with the current defensive front that we have now, I know that the bulk of the snaps are going to go to Kenny, Dean, and Kingsley Keke, Tyler Lancaster. Those guys are going to get the bulk of the snaps. But I'd like to see Anthony in there get a little bit of playing time. I think he has been able to get some chances to get up to speed to be able to contribute at least a little bit. If he gets probably 10 snaps, I'd be happy with that. It always can't hurt. It always couldn't hurt to have a good rotation, but you also want to make sure that you have depth, and in case of injuries and whatnot. I'm not sure why Anthony didn't play last week. I guess it might be because he just hasn't been quite up to speed. Also, Anthony, I don't know where he is skill-wise. I think he's probably okay. I don't know. I haven't seen him play at all, so I can't say I know for sure what Anthony can bring to the table. Now I'd like to go back to talking about Aaron. Maybe this will probably get some more people back into the live stream here. And I'd like to go over Aaron's stats. As you can see down here, 69.6 completion percentage, 39 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 119.7 passer rating. What can I say? Outstanding. Completely outstanding. I said this a few minutes ago, but I'm proud of Aaron. He has just been nothing short of amazing, doing what he does as the quarterback of this franchise. I am very, 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 very excited to see him coming back to playing at an elite level after having 2 down years, basically. But I think the 2019 was not really that much of a down year. He was doing very well, but he just wasn't playing like this year or the 2014 season, and probably not even quite the 2016 season, but he was doing pretty well. he was just not dynamic. And I think some of that had to do with the talent just wasn't really quite there. We had our young receivers still developing. Marquez Equanimeous St. Brown was out with an injury all season, and then Alan Lazard came in a little bit late, and now that he's better in year 2 under this system, and with more time and taking reps in practice with Aaron has really helped a lot. I think that this group of receivers right now is really, really, really outdoing the expectations that people had with them, especially the media. The media, you guys, was being very, 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 very unfair to this receiving core that we have. And people were saying that Aaron has no weapons. Well, I don't know. Devontae Adams, you guys, no weapons. I mean, you have to have Devontae Adams, and of course, people named Devontae, but I think people underestimated guys like Alan Lazard and what Marquez can do deep down the field. They didn't get a chance to really see what the Packers really had, and outside of Green Bay, I expect that, but in Green Bay, I think we knew what we had. Was it great? No. Do we have an awesome number 2 receiver? I don't think we do, but we have a very good number 2 receiver in Alan Lazard, and we have a very good receiving core right now, the way I see it. We do have Devontae, who is a great, great number 1, probably the best receiver in the league. And then we have Alan Lazard. When he has been healthy, has been very good. He still is dealing with that core injury, which is why he's probably not getting as much catches and as much reps as he would have had before the season. But now I think that once he gets healthier, he is going to make an impact down the road. And then you have Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who can go deep. Say what you want about the drop passes, and yes, he drops passes. He's probably going to make as many mistakes as he does plays, and that's something that is it's not ideal that we as fans want to see out of him. Unfortunately, that's just going to happen. I think he's been able to cut down on the mistakes as of recently. He had a great game against the Detroit Lions, and I'm proud of Marquez for that. And then on another hand, you have Equanimeous St. Brown. He has had limited snaps too, but he has had a couple catches recently. Like I said, I like this group. And then you have Malik Taylor. He doesn't really do much as far as receiving goes, but he does his job as a blocker. And that's something that I love about the receiving core, is that we have guys that can block very well, and that really helps a lot when you have those types of plays to where you need your receivers to block, so that way you can get the receiver out in open space and get some yards after the catch. This is very, very much a staple in Matt LaFleur's offense when we want to use the wide receiver screens, is that we need to ask our receivers to block. And that is really a staple of the Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur type of offense. And that's how things are run. I mean, not that it isn't like that in every other offense. I think it is run like that, where receivers are asked to block, but I think it's more prominent in this type of offense. All right, with about 40 minutes in, I think I'm probably going to cut the stream pretty soon. But right now I'm not really quite done talking about Aaron as of yet. I'm hoping that with just 2 people in here, maybe we can start talking about Aaron, get something to talk about, keep this going instead of having me just completely blabber on. But let's see, King Howie. Let's see, I'm going to say on this. MVS has mentally handled this year strong with a drop pass, come back the next play with a huge block for Jones? Yes. Marquez is a pretty good blocker too, and yes, I think on that 77-yard touchdown, he was very, very instrumental in getting that touchdown with that speed to go down the field, make that block so that way Jones could cut right back in and score. That is another thing that goes unnoticed by a lot of fans is blocking, and blocking is important for receivers. Simple as that. And that is something that I love about Marquez, is that he can block very well, and it goes unnoticed by a lot of fans. People just concentrate on the dropped passes and all the mistakes that he does, and I feel like that some fans just see the negative and just don't look at the positive, what he's been able to do for this team. And I understand the negatives are very frustrating, but just be patient. Wait on Marquez. He will make a very big play, especially deep down the field where Aaron can just chuck the bomb and he will catch it for a long touchdown. And I think it's going to happen again. It's going to happen sooner or later. And I have to go to this comment here. I'm starting to think Aaron Jones won't sign. Yeah. I'm going to touch up on that in a later video, or on some Packer players on coming back to the Packers or possibly leaving to go play elsewhere. I'm starting to lean towards Aaron Jones not returning to the Packers because he will get his money. I think that a 4-year deal is going to be on the table for whichever team he signs to, whether if that's us or another football team. But it will all kind of depend on what's going on in that front, how much money he's going to ask for. I know that the contract right now for Aaron is really small. He is actually making not very much. I don't have the numbers right out in front, but I can show you if you want to see the numbers that Aaron Jones is making. And I know that I really feel like he's being underpaid for what he's been able to do for the Packers, and his dynamic running ability and his pass catching on the backfield has been tremendous for the Packers. And I think that we just didn't know what he was going to be, which is why, as a former 6th-round pick, he's getting paid as much as he is. So I think he's probably may want to go get more money because he's trying to make up for the less amount of money he's been able to make. But you should be able to make as much money given your playing status and how well you are doing for your football team. So I believe that Aaron Jones is going to get paid probably in the double digits for. Jones won't get $10 million a year from the Packers. I don't think so either. I would be surprised to see if we do pay him $10 million a year. I think that will be a little bit too rich for us because we're gonna be diving headfirst into an unknown salary cap. I know that it's going to take a nosedive because of the whole COVID situation, and that's what's a really big bummer, is that this whole COVID problem is been an issue, and I know that it's not just the Packers that are affected; it's league wide. A whole bunch of teams are going to have to deal with an unfortunate nosedive salary cap wise. There are going to be some surprising cuts, I think, in the off season. Some teams are going to have to part ways with certain players with large contracts and that are movable. I think some teams might have to take some more dead money than they would like to, and I mean it's not an ideal situation for any team. I think guys that are looking for big contracts may not be able to be signed to new teams sooner because of the uncertainty with the salary cap going forward for the next season. I would have to say that Aaron Jones right now, it's very, very, very uncertain where he's going to land. If he stays with the Packers, great. I would like it. But I'm not entirely sure if the Packers should sign Jones back in giving a whole lot of money to a running back when you can actually easily replace a young running back for less. I'm going to touch up that on another video, but that's just what I think that. The Packers probably offered 8. That's probably a pretty good guess. I think that might be a pretty good amount for him. Whether he'll accept it or not, I don't know. I think he's making $2 million this year. Aaron Jones, yes, I think that sounds just about right. I just did recently look at his contract, but he is not really getting all that much, and because he was a 6th round pick, and that's why. So with about 4 of us in here, if you haven't given this video a thumbs up, please do. And if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing for some more Packer content. If you are, in fact, a Packers fan, but if you are the fan of another football team, consider subscribing for some more NFL-related content. I have some future plans and future videos to release on other football teams, and I think I may even release a few hockey videos, even though probably the majority of people in here are not really hockey fans. And that's fine. I just want to be able to make a few hockey videos because I haven't really made any recently. And with the NHL just starting up, I believe, come next month, I think there's a temporary deal in place for the NHL to start back up again. And it will be Detroit Red Wings hockey season time. And being a longtime Detroit Red Wings fan, I am hoping for a turnaround here with the Red Wings. But enough of that. I'd like to go to this comment here by the IRC bully. The Packers already have a replacement. Dillon, yes. This is why the Packers drafted A.J. Dillon, is because of the whole uncertainty whether the Packers can or cannot re-sign Aaron Jones and or Jamal Williams, who are both free agents after this year. I definitely think that was the big reason why we drafted AJ, and I know that a lot of people, including myself, were not really thrilled with the pick. I was befuddled, you guys, when we drafted AJ. I was like, what, a running back? Why a running back? And then I thought Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are on contract years, and I don't think that both of them are returning. I think either one of them was going to come back, whether it was Aaron Jones or Jamal Williams. My bet was more on Jamal because of how much he will want more, or he would want. And I know that Aaron Jones may want more because he has been able to play better than him. So the pick of A.J. Dillon is being justified, I think, in my opinion, right now, because of the A.J. Dillon pick didn't really fill much of an immediate need, but it filled a 2021 future need. It was really a not a distant future need like Jordan Love was, but a near future need. And that was why AJ was picked. And I'm pretty excited to see what AJ can do in this defense, or in this offense. What he can do with his abilities to run it up the middle and just be a bowling ball and go and crush guys, and go that way. Now I'd like to address this. Kumaro had a TD today, and that was nice to see. I did not even see the Bills game, and Kumaro was activated from practice squad. Actually, didn't even know that he was active, but good for Kumaro. I am kind of disappointed that he wasn't really willing to take a practice squad spot for us. I guess he wanted to go elsewhere, and I don't know what went wrong there. But good for him. I mean, he's not called Touchdown Jesus for nothing. That's what the man scored. That's what the man does. He scores touchdowns, and that was cool. I'm gonna have to go and check out the touchdown. Good for him. We need to re-sign Aaron Jones and trade Jamal and Kevin King. I would like to have Aaron Jones back. He would be great. I love what he can do in this offense. And we can't trade Jamal Williams and Kevin King because they are coming up on contract years and they will be free agents come March. So unless you think that we re-sign them back and then we trade them, I don't know. That seems a little risky. If we were to sign Jamal and Kevin, I would love to have both. I would love to have all three, you guys. I love Aaron Jones, I love Jamal Williams, and I love Kevin King. All three of those guys are very, very big key contributors to this team. And I don't know. Kevin is definitely an inconsistent guy, but he really is very valuable to our defensive backfield, and he is a good number two. He's certainly not Jair Alexander, you guys, but I think that a lot of fans underestimate Kevin and what he can do. But when he is unavailable due to injury, that's part of the problem. Is that Kevin is going to miss some time with injuries, probably at least once a year. I know he won't give you a full season, but when he plays, he makes the secondary better. I know that he has had a little bit of somewhat of a down season. I know he's dealt with a whole lot of inconsistencies. He's gotten beat a couple of times, especially last game against Detroit. His coverage on one play was bad, but the other one was not that bad. And I know that, Kevin is by no means a Pro Bowl caliber player, but he can make plays. And just think, last year, he had a whole bunch of interceptions. I think he had 5 or 6 interceptions last year. So he does really, really bring a lot of things to the table as for the cornerback group. And I think we're going to miss him because we may not have him back. Who is better, Gary or Preston Smith? Good question. Right now, Rashawn, but as an overall player, I think that for the long haul, Preston Smith, because Preston did play at a very high level last year, and what has happened with Preston, I have no clue. I don't know if he's not really being used correctly or if teams have figured out how to block him. But Preston Smith, I think, is the better player of the two right now. But Rashawn Gary is playing better than him. It's reflected in the stats, and it's reflected in what you see on the tape. Rashawn is doing a very, very good job as of recently. And man, if you saw Rashawn go off, he bumped the tight end, completely breezed right past the right tackle, and then sacked Stafford. That was amazing. That was absolutely filthy. I was just like, go Rashawn. Yes, that's the exact type of stuff that we need to see from him. Is just to just go woo, and to just go boom. I mean, that's the stuff that I'm excited for Rashawn in this defense. And he looked fast coming off. Let's see. No one get and cut so he can land in that. We can let the duo AJ and Aaron carry our running back game. He's going to be a prime Eddie Lacy, except with the weight issue. Yeah, AJ is not really a fat guy. He's just And yeah, Eddie wasn't really all that fat to start out with. He was a big guy, of course, and AJ is big, but he is muscular. I mean, he's a bowling ball. And I really do feel like AJ and Eddie have very similar skill sets in that they are north-south runners, and Aaron Jones is very different. He is not just a north-south runner. He's an east-west guy that can go and find the hole. He has a great explosion, and he can just hit that hole and just go right off. And he also has the home run threat ability that AJ Dillon and Jamal Williams don't have. And that's something that is going to be missed in this offense if we, in fact, don't bring back Aaron. But I hope that we can bring in an Aaron Jones type of running back to replace him, so that way you can use what you can do with Aaron than what you did this season with that type of guy, and cut Kevin King. We don't need to cut him because he's going to be a free agent after this season. We don't need to cut Jamal either. He'll be a free agent. We can let him. We can just let them walk in free agency, and then we can get Aaron Jones. We can get Aaron Jones that way. And to go to this one right here, you can only sign 2: Jones, King, Lindsley. Yeah, I think that all three of those guys are very, very much in danger. Aaron, Kevin, and Corey, all three are probably going to be high contract guys. I think that Kevin is going to go get a pretty big 4-year deal somewhere. Then probably Corey Lindsley too, and Aaron Jones. Those guys are probably 4-year guys worth up to maybe $10 million. Corey Lindsley especially. Corey is a very, very good center. He is an absolutely phenomenal football player. I really love Corey Lindsley. He's been an absolutely fantastic center for the Packers this season. And in years past, he did struggle a little bit, but he has been a very good, consistent player. He has been available to play, and I think that we are going to miss him, to be honest. And I don't know where. I think Kevin King. I think we move on from him as well, only due to the injuries and the inconsistencies. And I think we possibly can find another decent replacement for him. And then Aaron Jones, the Packers have absolutely they have said that they wanted to sign Aaron, so it really sounds promising, but I'm not counting on it. Once Gary reaches his prime, he's going to fill the gap of Preston Smith. I really feel like that's true. I agree with that. Once he reaches his prime, oh my gosh, whew, man, it's his upside is so high, and Preston. There's a couple of things about Preston that makes me think that he could be traded, because I think there is a possibility of trading him to create some more to mitigate the whole problem with the cap space. I think it would have to be a post-June trade instead of like a pre-June trade. I would like to touch up on that in more of a future video in that regard. Aaron Jones doesn't fit other teams is the issue. I kind of disagree with that. I think he fits other teams. I know that he can be incorporated into probably just about any offense because his skill set is very, 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 very good. I know that he can fit in. He can fit very well into a Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan offense, where they can use his abilities to bounce it outside in the outside zone. He can do some things. He can take it up the middle. He can take it out, and he can just take off and just run down for a touchdown at any time whenever he is out in the open. Okay, King Halley, what happens to Dexter? Dexter Williams, ooh, That's a very good question because I think that I think that Dexter just hasn't really worked out too well for us. He's really a practice squad running back right now at this juncture. I can't say I know he's going to be signed up for the next couple of seasons. I think he may have a chance to be able to make the 53-man roster. And I know that Matt LaFleur wants to have another option, so it wouldn't surprise me if Dexter does get more to playing time next season. But I think right now he's still developing in the practice squad, so that way he can become a future contributor if he can show if he can show something. Right now he's so unproven, and that's part of the problem. Is that he just hasn't had any playing time. Okay. Okay, I meant it hurts seeing Aaron in a different uniform. It won't sound right. Yeah, I know. I definitely get that too. It'll be weird to see Aaron Jones in another uniform. And we're gonna miss the dynamic duo of the Aarons, Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. That's awesome. I love having the two Aarons play in this offense. But at least we're not going to be confusing the two. Whenever I talk about Aaron, you might think I'm talking about Aaron Jones. You might think I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. At least when I say, at least when I'm talking about Aaron, you'll know which Aaron that I'm talking about. Yeah. But I would miss Aaron Jones if we do in fact let him walk and some other team signs him to a large deal. Yeah, I really, really kind of hope that we can get another Aaron Jones type of dynamic, explosive home run threat like him to have a proper replacement if we go that route. It would not surprise me next season for, as far as running back goes, we have A.J. Dillon, Jamal Williams, and Dexter Williams. If we decide to go that way, that's fine. Then you also have Tyler Ervin. I know he's under only just a 1-year deal. If we bring him back, we will have 4 running backs technically, but Ervin is more of just a gadget type of guy, as opposed to an actual running back. But I think the duo of Jamal, A.J. Dillon, and Dexter Williams may have some potential. If not, we'll have a good duo of Williams and Dillon. And we got Thomas Jefferson in the house. Good old Tommy, the third president of the United States. Who do you think we draft? I think that's a little bit early to really think about right now. I'm more focused on the now and then getting to the playoffs. But I think if I had to say who I think we draft, I really hope for these positions. I'm hoping for an inside linebacker, as a second-round receiver, because we do have 3 receivers going up on contract years in 2021. So I would like a second-round receiver, not because we have a huge need there. It would be because we need somebody to develop there and take over for one of the 3 guys that are going to be off the team. Oh, no. And then some other positions I can think of. I think cornerback might make some sense in the first round. And because we may lose Kevin, if we don't think that Chandon Sullivan and Josh Jackson are the answer to take over for his spot, I would hope that another cornerback would make some sense in the first. And I'm trying to think of some other positions that we could fill out for depth. Maybe interior defensive line would be something else to fill out for. I'd like to get an offensive tackle because we have 2 of our offensive tackles that aren't under contract for too long, Rick Wagner and Billy Turner. I would like to have a developing offensive tackle join, and then he starts later. Like I'm thinking of Jalen Mayfield, the Michigan offensive tackle. Keep an eye out for him. I will talk about Mayfield in future videos. Devontae Adams is going to stay here for another 10 years unless he starts to decline. I really hope so. I really love Devontae. I really love what he brings to the table. He is great. I think he will get a third contract with us, but his contract is coming up in 2021. But I do hope he returns, and I hope he will come back for a certain amount of money, to where it's not gonna strap us cap wise, because we do have so much money going to so many other guys right now. I mean, we just signed Kenny Clark to an extension and David Bakhtiari to an extension. Those guys cost a pretty penny, and I really hope Devontae will be able to find some money for him. If not, we let him walk, and hopefully we can bring in a young receiver to fill in for his spot if we do in fact let him walk. But I would absolutely love to have Devontae until he retires. I mean, but once he gets up into his 30s, you guys, I mean, I think that there's a possibility he'll decline, and we won't have him that long. But yeah, I love Devontae, and I really would like to hope that we can bring him back for maybe 3 more years after his expiring contract. I just want to go to this one. I think we take Alex Leatherwood. Yeah, Alex Leatherwood is a pretty good, promising offensive tackle prospect from the Alabama Crimson Tide, if I remember right. Alex Leatherwood, I think, might go higher than we might pick, but I would like Leatherwood. He would be a very good developmental offensive tackle. Can you stream the Panthers game? I said that if there was going to be 50 people in here, then I would consider it. Right now, there hasn't even been 50 people. There have been at most 5 people in the stream, and my voice is getting a little bit tired, so I kind of need to rest it before I make a post-game video. So I mean, if you want to catch a live stream, go ahead and check out Cheesehead TV or Tom Grossi. Those guys do a great job with live streams. Otherwise, yes, I thought about it, but I don't know. My voice is getting tired. Let's see. We need an inside linebacker. Why didn't we get Patrick Queen? Good question. Yes, we do need an inside linebacker, and why we didn't get Patrick Queen is because we took Jordan Love with the 26th overall pick. We got the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers in the building and ready to develop. Didn't Sullivan go do a pick 6 against the Lions in week 2? Yes, he did, and that was a great play by Chandon. And Chandon, I believe, is a very good inside corner, very good nickel. I think he might be able to fill in very well for Kevin on the outside. I believe in Chandon. I'm just not sure if the Packers do. And then who do we fill in to play nickel if Chandon plays outside? That's a question for anyone to think about, and I will think about it myself. Who can play nickel? Because I think Josh Jackson is more of like an outside corner, and I don't think he's that good. He's more of just a depth guy. But I think I could be wrong. And whenever Josh has played in absence of Kevin, he's been able to do a decent job. Simple as that. Let's see. MVS at his prime. Woo! I mean, yes. Marquez, once he gets into his prime, I really, really believe he could be a very great deep threat. I'm not so sure about his abilities as an all-around receiver. So far, what I'm seeing from him is that he's great in the deep game. He is very good at catching some. He's very good with post routes, go routes, and dig routes. he's being used a lot, and he's being used a lot with those three routes from what I've been able to see so far. I don't think he's really much of a bubble screen type of guy like Devontae or Allen, because I don't think he has that lateral agility that those guys do. But Marquez is just blazing fast, blazing fast. Blazing fast. I mean, he can just go breeze past corners. I love how the Packers believe in MVS. Same here, me too. I'm glad the Packers are sticking by him, and they believe in him. His teammates believe in him, and I, as a fan, believe in him as well. Anyway, I'm probably about to head out for the game because it's coming up in about another 5 more minutes. I know that we've had at tops 6 people in here, so yes, we didn't really get 50 people in the stream, but the turnout has been very good, and I would like to thank everybody for joining in, even though some guys joined late. I understand, given that you guys have to work on your time, and it's not always necessarily a thing for me. And but like I said, thank you very much for joining this live stream. It really has meant a lot. And if you haven't, give this stream a thumbs up. And let's see. I'm just going to go to this really quick here. Let's see. Is that the real? Oh, okay. Trace McSorley. Trace, welcome to the live streams, bud. How are things going in Baltimore? Whose jersey do you have on? I have Donald Lee's jersey, number 86. Number 86. If you guys don't remember who Donald Lee was, Donald Lee was a tight end for the Packers back when during some of the Brett Favre era, the very back of the Brett Favre era. He was primarily known as very much as more of a blocking tight end as opposed to like a pass catcher like a Jermichael Finley was, like a Bubba Franks was. Donald Lee did the dirty work in the trenches for us, and I thought he did a very, very good job. I loved Donald Lee. And this was actually kind of a gift to me by a friend. It was a birthday gift, and I really need to wear this more often because I was a pretty big Donald Lee fan when not very many people noticed him, and I wanted to wear this today for the live stream because I just haven't worn it very much. As you can see right behind me, I got my Brian Bulaga jersey. I need to wear that more too. I really miss Brian, but he's a Los Angeles Charger, and I hope he's doing pretty well for them. I miss Brian. I loved Brian coming out when we drafted him in 2010. He's done a very great job for us, and he deserved a Pro Bowl, and he never got into the Pro Bowl because he was just Brian Bulaga. And it's because he wasn't a popular name. He was just Brian Bulaga, Iowa. You know how it is. The Pro Bowl is for the popular people as opposed to the real warriors that have worked so hard and have gone unnoticed and never make it. Brian was one of them. And with a few more minutes till game time, I want to go over this next one here. Green Tree, thank you very much for the thank you very much for the words of encouragement. I'm doing my very best with this channel. Unfortunately, things have not really quite gone the way I would have liked, and what I would have hoped from this channel. Just like views per video are very low. It's not what I really would like to see. But saying that I'm a future Tom Grossi really means a lot, and thank you. I mean, I would love to be as great as Tom is, and Tom Grossi, man, he's great. I love to watch Tom, and I could only dream of being as good as him. Simple as that. I think I will end this here. Thanks very much again for tuning in, watching this video. I know that there hasn't been very many that have come in, but the ones that have joined in, thank you. And I will catch you guys later for the post-game video. Go Pack Go.